Curly brackets are not just another symbol on the keyboard. With a little creativity, they can make Excel do things that formulas cannot normally do on their own. In this video, I will show you 3 practical examples with curly brackets that will completely change the way you think Excel formulas. So make sure to watch till the end. Let's start with a problem that catches a lot of Excel users. I have this IT ticket report and my manager wants to know how many tickets are still active. By active, I mean tickets that are either open or pending. Now, if you're thinking COUNTIFS should handle this, that's exactly what I thought too. Select the status column as our criteria range, and for the first condition, I'll type open. Then select the same status column again, and for the second condition, I will type pending. Press enter and I get 0. Why? The challenge here is COUNTIFS applies AND logic to multiple conditions by default. In other words, Excel is looking for tickets that are both open and pending at the same time, which doesn't exist. One solution is to simply supply the multiple conditions inside a curly bracket like this. This causes COUNTIFS to return 2 results. One count for open and another count for pending, which spill into 2 cells. Notice I'm using semicolons inside the curly brackets. Semicolons create a vertical spill, while commas create a horizontal one. Although in our case, either would work because the spill isn't our final goal. We don't want 2 separate counts, we want a single total number of active tickets. To get to that final total, all I need to do is to wrap this formula inside sum. Press enter, now I get the correct count. And that's how you make COUNTIFS handle OR logic using just one formula, with a little help from curly brackets. Now let me show you another magic curly brackets can do. Here I have an employee table with employee ID, name, department, salary, and location. Let's say I only care about employee name and salary. How would I do that? I will start with filter, select the whole table, then open curly bracket. Type 0. Here the position of this number inside curly bracket matches the column position in my selected range. So this first 0 represents employee ID column. 0 means false, so here it's telling Excel to not return that column. Then the second column is name. I want to keep that one, so type comma 1. Then it continues. Removes department, keeps salary, removes location, close the brackets. Essentially, the ones marked with a 1 stay. The ones marked with a 0 disappear. And just like that, Excel returns only the name and salary columns. Now that's a pretty handy trick by itself. But where would you actually use it? Suppose I want to find the name and salary for employee 103. I will use XLOOKUP. Type 103 as a lookup value, the employee ID column as my lookup range, and then these 3 columns as my return range. And as expected, XLOOKUP spills all 3 consecutive columns at once. But remember, I only want the name and salary columns. So what can we do about the department column sitting right in the middle? Apply the exact same curly bracket trick we just learned. We will wrap the return range inside filter. Then type 101. Keep name, skip department, keep salary. Hit enter. And now I get exactly what I wanted. So, with a simple curly bracket trick, we can make Excel return non-adjacent columns even inside a lookup formula. Now for my favorite example. Here I have a text string with multiple delimiters. We can see a dash after the employee name, a forward slash after the department, and a semicolon after the row. Now I could use TEXTSPLIT and split the text by the dash first. That separates out Sarah. But I'm still left with this. So in the next row, I will need another TEXTSPLIT formula to split that by the slash. And then another one for the semicolon. Eventually, I can stitch everything back together using cell references. But that's a lot of work for a single record. Rather, I can handle all the delimiters at the same time. I'm still using the TEXTSPLIT, but this time, instead of one delimiter, I will pass a list of them using curly brackets, and Excel splits the entire record in one go. By the way, text to columns won't help much here either. If we go to Data, Text to Columns, Delimited, you will notice Excel gives the options like tab, semicolon, comma, and space. But for everything else, I only get one other box. So if I check semicolon and tab dash in other, we are still left with this part uncleaned. So it just won't allow me to fix in one step. Now, this trick isn't limited to one record or just delimiters. If you ever worked with exported product measurement data, you've probably seen something like this. Here, I want to extract just the numbers. So, TEXTSPLIT, remove the labels like length with column and space, then the same for width and height. Also the units, cm with the dot and space, and the final cm at the end. And instantly, Excel separates everything into its own field. But notice it leaves behind a bunch of empty cells. So I'm setting Ignore Empty to True, and done. And that's the beauty of curly brackets. Clean and split complex text strings with a single formula. That is really the essence of this video. Curly brackets allow Excel to handle multiples in one shot when combined with other formulas. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one right here, where I cover some of the most underrated Excel symbol tricks that can save you hours of work. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm Kiki and I will see you in the next one.